Good afternoon, and thank you very much for tuning in to Parliamentary Television. Business of the House will resume at 14:30, where we bring to you live proceedings of the House. And to be with you this afternoon, my name is Pauline Monga.
Good afternoon, my name is Tazuki, and Pauline, we are alongside our sign language interpreter, Jason Mander.
Yes, Tazand, we go straight into business that is expected to come for consideration on the floor of the House this afternoon when business starts at 14:30 hours. The House is expected to consider some announcements, if there will be any, as well as urgent matters without notice, if there will be any. And thereafter, the House will consider there will be presentation of government bills, and then after that there will be a private member's motion and 3 questions for oral answer, understanding order number 80, and then we have 3 bills that will be considered at different stages, 3 to be considered at the second reading stage and 1 at report stage. So basically that is what is contained on the order paper for today.
Yes, indeed, Pauline, and on the presentation of the government bill, we do expect the Minister of Finance and National Planning to present the State-Owned Enterprises Bill, National Assembly Bill number 37 of 2025. This is the bill to establish the Government Investment Department and provide for its functions, provide for the incorporation, ownership, governance of state-owned enterprises, among others.
Yes, after that presentation of government bills, the House is expected to consider questions for oral answer, understanding order 82, and one of the questions is coming from Mr. Kalare Mukosa, Chinsali Member of Parliament, and he's directed his question to the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation. And in the first part of the question, he wants to know whether the government is aware that for the past 2 weeks, Chinsali district has been experiencing erratic water supply, and part B, if so, what measures are being taken to resolve the problem and avert an outbreak of waterborne diseases.
Thereafter, we do expect the House to consider 3 questions for oral answer, understanding order 80. These are questions of ordinary nature, and the first one is expected to be asked by Mr. Darius Mundunda, who is Siabonga Member of Parliament. His question will be directed to the Minister of Mines and Minerals Development. He wants to know in A, how many of the following licenses were issued for mining activities in Siabonga district as of June 2025. Artisanal, exploration. In B, of the licenses in A, how many were issued to the residents of the district, and in C, what measures are being taken to ensure that the local community benefits from the mining activities, and in D, he wants to know how many tons of the following minerals were mined in the district and exported through Chirundu border from 2021 to 2024, year by year: copper, coal, and fluoride.
And question number 111 on today's order paper is coming from Fera Member of Parliament, Mr. Emmanuel Tembo, and he's directed his question to the Minister of Green Economy and Environment. And the first part of the question, he wants to know when the bicarbon trading BCT agreement was signed between community members in Mburuma and Mpuka chiefdoms in Fera Parliamentary constituency, and part B, whether government is aware of the dispute between the 2 parties, and part C, what benefits, if any, have been accrued to the local people word by word since the signing of the BCT agreement.
Question 12 is expected to come from Mr. Sunday Chanda, Kanchibia Member of Parliament. His question will be directed to the Minister of Labour and Social Security. He wants to know in A, what measures were being taken to safeguard whistleblowers of unethical behavior in workplaces. In B, whether the government conducts random compliance inspections to ensure safe working environments, especially in sectors such as mining and transport. And in C, if so, how many cases of random inspections were from 2020 to 2024, year by year.
Yes, you are tuned in to Parliament Television. Business of the House will resume at 14:30 hours, and just now we are giving you what is expected to come for consideration on the floor of the House. And we have a private member's motion expected today, and this will be moved by Mr. Christopher Kangombe, Member of Parliament for Kamfinsa, and in this private member's motion to be moved, he wants to urge that this House urges the government to implement measures aimed at increasing the crop yield per hectare for farmers under the FISEP Farmer Input Support Program.
Yes, indeed, Pauline, and thereafter we do expect the House to consider 3 bills at second reading stage and 1 bill at report stage. We get into the details. We have the Teaching Profession Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2025, to be considered at second reading stage.
And we also have the Independent Broadcasting Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 27 to be considered, number 27 of 2025 to be considered at the second reading stage.
And we have the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 28 of 2025 to be considered at second reading stage.
Then we also have the Occupational Health Safety Bill, National Assembly Bill number 17 of 2025 to be considered at report stage. So basically that is the business expected to come for consideration on the floor of the House today, 27th November 2025. And just now we take you to the floor of the House as we await the Speaker's procession to make its way into the House. Good afternoon.
Honorable Members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
And then sing of Zambia, proud and free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for our right. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who blend. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun. Oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky. Like a noble eagle in its flight, Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, Zambia.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen.
Under the Farmer Input Support Program. And we also expect the House to consider 4 bills. 3 bills will be considered at a second reading stage, and 1 bill will be considered at report stage. And we get to the details of the bills. The Teaching Profession Bill, National Assembly Bill number 14 of 2025. The Independent Broadcasting Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 27 of 2025, and the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 28 of 2025, will be considered at second reading stage, and the Occupational Health and Safety Bill, National Assembly Bill number 17 of 2025, will be considered at report stage.
Yes, Tazan, we look at the bill to be presented by the Minister of Finance and National Planning. This is the State-Owned Enterprises Bill, National Assembly Bill number 37 of 2025. And the object of the bill is to establish the Government Investment Department and provide for its functions, and also provide for the...
Order, honorable members. I have 2 announcements to make. The first one, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Livala Secondary School in Lusaka District. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. The next announcement, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of PosterNet from Chongwe District. PosterNet is a group of pastors who have come together with a vision of supporting children in Chongwe. So it's PosterNet. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. I thank you. You may take your seats. Urgent matters without notice. Honorable Member for Nyimba. It's a daily bread now.
Madam Speaker, when I think the elephant in the room, Madam Speaker, it's the NRCs, Madam Speaker. First, I want to acknowledge and thank government for the extension of the 3 days. Madam Speaker, the challenge we have in a district or a province, in Eastern Province, Nyimba constituent district, Madam Speaker, received 8,000 new NRCs. And all the 8,000, Madam Speaker, have registered. Now we are sitting at 8,562 new NRCs. Madam Speaker, people had to move, some were moving 60 kilometers, 40 kilometers, thinking after the extension, the NRCs have been brought into at the central business district. Now, as of today, Madam Speaker, there are no NRCs in the constituents. And there are so many people, more than the 8,000, Madam Speaker, who haven't corrected the new NRCs. Now, my question, Madam Speaker, to the Minister, I know it's coming back on Tuesday. By Tuesday, the extension would have been, will end by Monday. So the question is there any plan for the Minister of Home Affairs, Madam Speaker, who I know is a very hard-working man and is able to move and see to it that the people are given NRCs? Is he able to provide the NRCs between today and the day they have extended the voters registration? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nyimba. The only challenge that I see that if we ask the Honorable Minister to come to the House, he can only come on Wednesday next week, which is well after they've closed. So why don't you engage him? You've said he's able. Put more pressure. Engage. I'm sure you can solve the issues by discussing, engaging into discussions. Waiting for a ministerial statement will not resolve the issue. But understand the Honorable Minister is here, is listening. Yeah. Yes. So please engage more. Engage more so that we have more. Honorable members, just engage. There is no magic within the urgent matter without notice. Let's engage. Of course, the honorable ministers are taking note of your concern that there is this requirement, but let's engage. Let's engage them. So the matter is not admitted. The honorable member, together with the honorable member for Isoka, are urged to engage the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security to have that issue addressed. The Honorable Member for Bwana Mukubwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rarely rise on matters, urgent matter without notice, but my issue is directed to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, though in absentia, not here. But however, I'll proceed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this year in June, I was tasked to travel with your team to Berlin and Turkey, as it were. And Madam Speaker, we did apply for visas through the German embassy, the Schengen visa. Madam Speaker, your members were denied visas, even with the diplomatic passports. And in turn, we even asked a very, I can call it foolish question by the people there to say, why are you traveling, 18 of you? Do you have money? And we said, you have no jurisdiction to ask us such a question. Madam Speaker, why do I raise on this matter is that diplomacy is about reciprocity, where how you are treated is also how you need to treat others. Madam Speaker, the diplomatic passport soon is becoming worthless, because even as I speak, Madam Speaker, that I did again try to apply for a visa, again to go for a WHO meeting in Geneva, Madam Speaker. Even through fast track, your members again are denied visas. So, Madam Speaker, even the bonding with the US is the same thing. Why does the government doesn't want to reciprocate the way we are treated? Because these people arrive in this country and we give them visas from the airport upon arrival, Madam Speaker. Can you reciprocate this issue to ensure that we are all treated fairly as it were, because a diplomatic passport ensures that the person is a high-level person, even the behavior is honorable, even the conduct, Madam Speaker, is honorable. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
I know that the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security is also acting Minister of Foreign Affairs. To my knowledge, I've seen something. Since the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs is not around. So we don't know when the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs will come in. But I think that is a matter that needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed because if they can deny members of parliament passports, visas, holding diplomatic passports, then where are we going? And we are going to undertake our oversight responsibility, checking on the embassies how they are performing. And then a visa is denied. I think it's a matter that we need to address. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issues of visas fall under my jurisdiction. I've heard what the Honorable Member of Parliament has indicated. Who address it, Madam Speaker?
Thank you very much. So the ministerial statement to come on Wednesday next week?
We will.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. So ministerial statement on that issue to be delivered on Wednesday next week. Thank you. The last one, Honorable Member for Mitete, what's your name? Agent matter without notice.
Madam Speaker, grateful to you and to the Member of Parliament for Nakonde to have switched on so that this is given on to me. Mitete, Madam Speaker. We are grateful to God for the rains, but in Mitete, all the wetland, maize, gone. Gone to where? Gone into the waters. Submerged. Mbonyi yalitapakao fela.
Meaning what?
Inwezi. In Mitete and the parts of Liwa constituency. This, Madam Speaker, matter of urgency to her honor, the read of government business. I'm told the acting read of government business. He's acting on behalf of her honor. So it is as serious as it is. I'm just coming from there. The maize fields and the maize itself gone. Where? In the waters. Submerged. That is an emergency. Lwambimba, Washishi, Lungwevungo, Lupui, everywhere. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
So I am not sure what intervention the government can do in that matter. Maybe the honorable member can ask and put in a question, because I don't know what intervention. It's raining now, and if we have low-lying land, it can get flooded. Now I don't know what intervention the government can do in that regard. So the honorable member for Mitete, maybe ask a question. Yeah, I know you directed the issue to the acting leader of government business in the House, in the absence of her honor, the Vice President. So I don't know whether you want canals to be dug immediately or food to be delivered because there is hunger. I don't know. It's not clear. So honorable member for Mitete, please put in a question. That concludes urgent matters without notice. We proceed. Presentation of Government Bill. The Acting Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning.
Madam Speaker, I beg to present a bill titled the National Payment System Bill number 32 of 2025. The objects of this bill are to A, provide for licensing, designation and authorization of payment service providers. B, provide for the incorporation of standards, principles and concepts of corporate governance.
There is an indication for a point of order in the middle of presentation of a government bill. Honorable Member for Lunte, what's the point of order?
Madam Speaker, I sincerely apologize to the Honorable Minister.
My apologies, I was given...
First, the Honorable Minister, you can hold on. The Honorable Member for Lunte is on the floor.
Madam Speaker, I was just apologizing to the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security for disturbing his presentation. However, Madam Speaker, I rise on a very serious point of order on the Honorable Member of Parliament from Copper Belt, Honorable Mwambaz, the MP from Bwanamkubwa. Madam Speaker, based on Standing Order number 71, it is critical and important that a member of Parliament submits information which is factual. Madam Speaker, is the MP for Bwanamkubwa in order to insinuate that a diplomatic passport is an important document which must be given respect when he knows that under the UPNG government, our diplomatic passports have become useless or worthless? Is he in order to misconduct himself in that manner, misleading all of us? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, our rules are very clear. Our standing orders are very clear. Honorable members, when you present something on the floor of the House, one, it must be factual, two, verifiable. So the honorable member is making some assertions which are not supported by any factual or evidence. So the point of order is not admitted. He is actually out of order himself. Because we were progressing very well and making progress, then suddenly he raises a point of order. So you can approach the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs outside and settle whatever issues you have with him. May the Honorable Minister, Acting Minister of Finance and National Planning, continue.
Madam Speaker, first of all, I would like to apologize for presenting a wrong bill. I now proceed. Madam Speaker, I beg to present a bill entitled the State-Owned Enterprises Bill number 37 of 2025. The objects of the bill are to establish the Government Investment Department and provide for its functions. B, provide for the incorporation, ownership, and governance of state-owned enterprises. C, provide for the transparency and accountability in the governance of state-owned enterprises. D, provide for the undertaking of public interest service obligations by state-owned enterprises. E, repeal the Self-Management Enterprises Act, Cap 408. And F, provide for matters connected with or incidental to their foregoing.
Thank you. The bill stands referred to the committee. Oh, sorry. This is because of Honorable Member for Lunte. Now you are confusing all of us. It's okay, I'm just saying. It's on a lighter note. Let the bill be read the first time.
The State-Owned Enterprises Bill, National Assembly Bill number 37 of 2025.
The bill stands referred to the Committee on Parastatal Bodies. The committee is required to submit its report on the bill to the House in due course. Honorable members who wish to make submissions on the bill are free to do so within the program of work of the committee. Question for oral answer under Standing Order 82. The Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 109.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member for Chinsali, our only chartered accountant, as the Ministry of Water, whether government is aware that the past 2 weeks, Chinsali district has been experiencing erratic water supply, and in the second part, if so, what measures, urgent measures, are being undertaken to resolve the problem and avert the outbreak of waterborne diseases. Madam Speaker, in our attempt to answer the Honorable Member of Chinsali, yes, government is aware of the recent erratic water supply experienced in Chinsali district over the past 2 weeks. The problem was caused by a ZESCO fault at the main transformer at the Chinsali Boma, which the plant was significantly affected the stability of the water supply. After the fault was resolved, the power was maintained and remained a little bit unstable with fluctuating voltages that hindered operations at the Chambeshi Water Supply and Sanitation Company's Boma Water Treatment Plant. In B, Madam Speaker, the urgent measures undertaken to ensure the continuity of water supply through Chambeshi Water Supply and Sanitation Company was to place a water bowser to facilitate water supply to the affected communities in the district. Further, ZESCO technicians are working diligently to resolve the power fluctuations. Additionally, Madam Speaker, to avert the outbreak of cholera, adequate stocks of chlorine are being maintained by the commercial utility. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions, the Honorable Member for Chinsali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would maybe start with wanting to state that actually the substantive Minister of Water and Sanitation called me this morning around 6 in the morning that he arrived in Chinsali to attend to the matter, and he gave me an assurance that by 15th December they will address this problem that is there in Chinsali. But I wanted to ask the Minister who is responding to the question that is it possible that the government can consider giving us our own utility water, a water utility company in Muchinga province, so that we are separated from Chambesh water? Because what causes this problem is that Chambesh water is housed in Kasama, which is very far from Chinsali, and as a result, when we have faults sometimes that just require a 600 kwacha, they first have to get authorization from Kasama, then they have to get part from Lusaka. By the time they are resolving a problem, it is 1 week or 2 weeks, Madam Speaker. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I appreciate the effort that has been made by the substantive Minister of Water. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The Honorable Acting Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you for that follow-up question. Madam Speaker, I totally agree with our colleague, Member of Parliament for Chinsali, that yes, more often than not, it's always good to be autonomous, and obviously that is what his desire is. But obviously, being autonomous also comes with its challenges vis-a-vis the cost itself. But Madam Speaker, I want to indicate to you that most of the challenges that the water utility company are experiencing, obviously, is that of power. And Madam Speaker, you may wish to note that the water utility will be supported by a project under the European Union that will be implementing what we call the NUSA solar energy project in a tune of 6.3 million euros. This will install a solar facility that will now speak to one of these, to the Chambeshi water and sanitation company that we have. And furthermore, Madam Speaker, I'm sure you may have heard our government talking about creating more solar grids within respective constituencies. That in itself also will look into mitigating some of these particular aspects that they may be experiencing in Chinsali. And not to mention, Madam Speaker, that our government also, due to the challenges of load management, we did direct through cabinet that each utility, strategic installation vis-a-vis utilities, universities, schools, hospitals, should be isolated from load management. And that in itself is probably one of the other missions that the substantive minister of water is undertaking, to see how best we could have a dedicated line to the utility so that they are not load-shedded. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Bahati.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for your statement. Madam Speaker, most utility companies, especially those that are in rural places, are failing to pump and supply water due to ZESCO faults and load shedding. And it's good that the Minister has stated that you are in the process of installing solar, and that some utility companies will be put on dedicated lines, which, Madam Speaker, is not an easy undertaking, because some of these pump stations, they just sit on main lines that feed people. The utility companies in Lusaka have installed generators all the way from Kafiwe to Lusaka. Along the way, you'll find that on all the pump stations, there are generators. So are you considering, buying generators for utility companies that are in rural places, even those that are in Mansa? Because in Mansa, Madam Speaker, we're also experiencing this issue of erratic supply of water. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Water Development and Sanitation.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, definitely in our request to find possible solutions, quick wins for these utility companies, as I had mentioned earlier, we are talking about having dedicated lines. Yes, they might sound costly, but obviously very effective. I will indicate to you that Southern Water and Storage Company, Livingstone, has a dedicated line from the intake as well as the treatment plant, similar with Kafuvu. So what is required for us to be done, Madam Speaker, is to do a cost-benefit analysis, whether it will be cheaper to buy a generator or indeed create a dedicated line. So now those are some of the measures which the ministry will undertake to identify the most cost-effective and sustainable solution for most of these places. But as I agree with the Honourable Member of Parliament, yes, indeed, we have to find ways and means of creating a sustainable way of supplying water to our communities. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Chinsali, you are satisfied? Since it's a constituency-based question and the processes are ongoing, let's leave it at that. We make progress. Question for oral answer understanding order 80. The Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 110.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member for Siavonga asking the following questions. How many of the following licenses were issued for mining activities in Siavonga district as of June 2025? A, artisanal, B, exploration, and 3, mining. Then question B, of the licenses above, how many were issued to the residents of the district? C, what measures are being taken to ensure that local communities benefit from the mining activities? And D, how many tons of the following minerals were mined in Siavonga district and exported through Chirundu border from 2021 to 2024 year by year? Copper, coal, and fluoride. Our response is as follows. Madam Speaker, as of June 2025, A, artisanal mining rights, the total issued were 29, individuals 19, and cooperatives 10. For exploration licenses, there were 72, divided as follows: small scale 25, large scale 47. Number C, mining licenses, total issued were 19, small scale 10, and large scale 9. B, Madam Speaker, of the licenses mentioned above, a total of 10 were issued to mining cooperatives which are believed to be composed of local residents of Siavonga. C, Madam Speaker, government is implementing deliberate measures such as developing the local content regulations under the Geological and Minerals Development Act of 2025 to ensure that Zambia participate in the mining value chain. Mining right holders are required to prioritize procurement of locally manufactured goods, procurement of services from locally or citizen-owned or influenced companies, give preference to employing qualified citizens, and provide training to transfer technical and managerial skills. These measures aim to boost economic growth, employment, and business benefits for the local communities and citizens. Madam Speaker, as at to date, the only mineral that is being produced in Siavonga district is fluoride. And the table projects production of fluoride in Siavonga district from 2021 to 2024. In 2021, 1,259 tons. 2022, 982 tons. 2023, 1,579 tons. 2024, 80,000 tons. And a total of 84,726.3 tons. The exports for fluoride from Siavonga from 2021 to 2024 are as follows. 2021, 1,477 tons. 2022, 7,495.7 tons. 2023, 10,188 tons. 2024, 42,693 tons. And giving us a total, Madam Speaker, of 61,855.4 tons. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Siavonga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, we appreciate the investment in the Siavonga district, mining activities that are going on there. Our question to you, Honorable Minister, is that whilst we appreciate the investments that has come to our district, in most cases you find the working conditions and the adherence levels by the companies, the labor laws, is very low. I wanted to find out, Honorable Minister, how frequent your office, in collaboration with the Minister of Labor, how frequent do you visit these mining activities to counter-check on the adherence levels on the labor laws compliances?
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Of course, the issue of adherence and to labor laws falls under the jurisdiction of the Minister of Labor. Of course, we are one government and we work together. Honorable Member, if with how the capacity of the Ministry of Mines was before putting in the regulator, it was difficult to really visit all the mines at a go. But I think there will be an improvement with our regulator being put in place. What I would say is that as Honorable Member of Parliament and you and I do interact at whatever point, you also can help us to actually be able to alert us that this is happening in your constituency at a particular mine, so that quickly we trigger Labor Commissioner or even Mine Safety Department to quickly visit, because they could have programs that are routine, and with the capacity that has been around, it may be that they may have visited Siavonga after some time. So we will work together. Probably we can even exchange notes after Parliament and see how we can, try and resolve those matters if at all, such things are happening at the mine. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Bahati.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Minister stated in a statement that only fluoride is being mined in Siavonga. But Madam Speaker, when you take a drive down to Siavonga, you find lots of people selling some crystal-like precious stone, lots of them. So is the Minister therefore confirming that those that are selling those stones along the highway are illegal miners? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I cannot confirm that a mineral that is sold on the roadside is actually from Siavonga. Unless, Madam Speaker, I go to a mine where those, or there is a particular mine where those are coming from. It could be that they are taking from maybe a neighboring town and transporting that mineral. As a ministry, the only information that we have as at now, Madam Speaker, save probably for the exploration that is taking place in Siavonga, including the mapping that we are doing, we are likely to find something else. But as it stands in our records, it's only fluoride that is being mined in Siavonga. I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Siavonga, you have withdrawn. We make progress? Okay, thank you. Next question, the Honorable Member for Feira.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question 111.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Green Economy and the Environment.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Honorable Member for Feira, for asking the Minister of Green Economy and Environment when the biocarbon trading agreement was signed between the community members of Mburuma and Mpuka Chiefdom in Feira Parliamentary constituency, whether the government is aware of a dispute between the two, what benefits, if any, have accrued to the local people word by word since the signing of the BCT agreement, rather. Madam Speaker, before a chiefdom can enter into partnership agreement with a developer, in this case biocarbon partners, the Forest Act number 4 of 2015 requires that it must first be formally recognized as a community forest management group, popularly known as CFMG, through the issuance of Form 1. It must then be granted forest user rights by the Director of Forestry through Form 4. Once these steps are completed, the Minister of Green Economy and Environment may grant the CFMG additional user rights under Form 7. Only after receiving these rights can the chiefdom legally sign a carbon partnership agreement. These steps ensure transparency and foster integrity in the entire process. The two chiefdoms completed the processes as follows. Mpuka Chiefdom, Form 1, recognition as CFMG, May 21st, 2021. Form 4, forest user rights, October 12, 2021. Partnership agreement with BCP, March 26, 2022. Mburuma Chiefdom, Form 1, recognition, May 21, 2021. Forest user granted, October 12, 2021. Partnership agreement with BCP, March 26, 2022. That said, Madam Speaker, both Mburuma and Mpuka Chiefdom signed their biocarbon trading agreement on 26 March 2022. The second question, is government aware of the dispute between the two parties? The government has not received any formal dispute concerning the BCP agreement with Mburuma and Mpuka Chiefdom. In line with statutory instrument number 11 of 2018, issued under the Forestry Act number 4 of 2015, CFMGs and project developers are required to use established grievance redress mechanisms. BCP has a rigorous and documented grievance redress mechanism aligned with internationally recognized verified carbon standards. All grievances must be reported, recorded, and resolved within agreed timeframes. Communities are regularly trained on the grievances, the GRIMs, and records are signed and evidence of awareness and adoption. According to available records, there are currently no open or unresolved grievances involving either chiefdom. Should there be any problem, government will request further details from the community and follow up on the measures to be taken as outlined in the grievance mechanism. Madam Speaker, the last question, what benefits has accrued to the local people, word by word, since the signing of the BCT agreement? Following the signing of the partnership agreement in March 2022, the two chiefdoms received their performance-based foreign forest carbon fees from BCP for the 2022 monitoring period. Disbursements were made in 2024, guided by approved benefit sharing mechanism and administered through the CFMGs. 2024 carbon fees disbursement. Mburuma, 4 words, 2,824,526. Mpuka Chiefdom, 5 words, 1,098,941. Total paid to both chiefdom, 3,923,467. These funds have supported community prioritized projects identified through participatory needs assessment and captured in FCF annual work plans. Madam Speaker, if you may allow me to quickly give examples of community projects that have actually been instituted. 1, climate smart agriculture, community forest protection, beekeeping programs, livelihood and community development projects. BCP works closely with government through the Forestry Department and the Department of National Parks and Wildlife to ensure transparency, compliance, and community beneficiation. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kabwato.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Honorable Minister, I think the challenge that we've seen with the partnership between BCP and the community is that they do not have the data on how the carbon markets or carbon credits are calculated. The pricing is where there's a challenge. Now, the figures that you've talked about, 3.9 million or 4 million, nobody knows how they do the calculation. Even when the law was established, the Climate Change Act, we still have challenges in coming up with the pricing. So I wanted to find out, what is your ministry doing to ensure that these communities that have either partnered up with BCP and Comaco how best is the ministry going to assist these communities to come up with an effective way of calculating these carbon credits? I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Acting Minister of Green Economy and Environment.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I just want to thank the area member of Parliament for Kabwata for that follow-up question. Madam Speaker, in agreeing with the Honourable Member of Parliament, government did recognize the need for us to understand what good carbon is, what bad carbon is. Madam Speaker, I just want to indicate to the House that for a very long time, until now, the buzzword carbon trading has been alien. I call it alien, Madam Speaker, because no known legislation had been put in place to actually regulate carbon trading. And Madam Speaker, I'm very delighted that our government, through the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, enacted the Green Economy and Climate Change Act of 2024. That in itself is a piece of legislation that will regulate what my Honourable Member of Parliament there is actually requesting for, to actually understand how best we could monetize the God-given natural resource of forests that we have in our country. Madam Speaker, a third of our country today is a protected area. When I say protected area, Madam Speaker, we're talking about it being a national park, a game management area, a forest park, and indeed, one of these particular areas that we call protected. So that in itself, Madam Speaker, requires us to ascertain the value of the asset that we have. And contained within the Green Economy and Climate Change Act of 2024, we should be able to now understand how best we could create value out of those. From what you heard here, Madam Speaker, these agreements were signed in 2022. There was what we call first mover advantage. But now government is saying these agreements need to be sanctioned by government so that our communities are not watawali dimasu wa mutwe. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Meaning?
Madam Speaker, it simply means that baking a cake and not eating it. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Feira.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Minister, I would like to appreciate your response to my question. And my follow-up question is related to what Honourable Member for Kabwata raised. Once these agreements are left to the chiefs to sign on behalf of their chiefdoms, and a number of promises are made in those agreements, or a number of terms are outlined. However, when it comes to implementation, we've had a problem, and this is where the disputes come from. You take note that our people have previously survived on the forests, and of course, including things like charcoal, and which obviously, well, but at least I must mention that that's how they've survived. Timber and many other. Now, has government got a policy or strategy to monitor whether or not the Zambian people are getting, or the people from Feira are getting a fair share from all these agreements? I'm aware that the BCP actually realizes a lot of dollars, millions of dollars, and our community, though the figures are being mentioned such as 4 million, 3 million, what is happening on the ground is not, as it seems. Because if things were okay, we'd have a situation where people would have not been going back, because right now there's a battle between BCP forest officers as well as the communities, because the communities feel they're not getting enough. So the question is, have we monitored whether these agreements are working? Because government ultimately must have an interest in this agreement. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Acting Minister of Green Economy and Environment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if my Honourable Member for Feira will possibly take time to just acquaint himself with a new act that in itself will really equip him to seeing how best we have couched that piece of legislation to be able to undertake monitoring. Madam Speaker, our role as government, obviously, in these areas which we call protected areas, and these resources, shared resources, God-given natural resources, at the core of everything we do is that of community beneficiation. And because we have structures in our country which obviously recognizes traditional leadership, we co-opt the traditional leadership with a management, the SCFMGs, who will now identify specific projects where these resources will go to. Now, we don't want, as government, to have a heavy hand to dictate what the communities want. And that's exactly what we're doing in CDF. We're saying take the money from Lusaka and take it to the respective polling stations. That is exactly what we've done. And the similar exercise, Madam Speaker, is what we do in the wildlife subsector, where we have our community resource boards which determine the revenues that they get, as well as where to place it in terms of investment. But I also just want to encourage the Honourable Member of Parliament also to actively get involved in some of these monies. Money is paid, is audited by Auditor General, and it's in the public domain. He has every right, Madam Speaker, to actually go to those communities and ask to say, where has this 3 million gone to? We want to see. It should be able to also, Madam Speaker, enhance on the CDF that is getting in the constituency so that he's able to now develop that area, as we are trying hard to develop it through my ministry, my substantive Minister of Tourism in that particular area. So, Madam Speaker, the mechanisms have been put in place in the law, and we just want us, together with the Honourable Member of Parliament, to be able to implement it together with our traditional leadership. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The Honourable Member for Luvasenshi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The issue to do with BCP keeping, Madam Speaker, vis-a-vis issue of carbon, which is being implemented in some provinces like Eastern Province. I had the privilege, Madam, to see what is happening in Eastern Province. These initiatives or agreement, they are benefiting our communities. But the problem which we observed, before I could come to the question, is about sensitization, communication between the chiefs and their subordinates. When it comes to benefits, maybe I would like to ask now the Minister, how much sensitization, how much communication that the government is putting in place to ensure that people embrace the initiative of these agreements, knowing fully that there is issue of climate change, where we need to keep busy forests, and subsequently the community should also benefit from the realization in terms of resources. How much communication, how much sensitization are you putting in place as government to our people so that we can able to lessen that tension? I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honourable Acting Minister of Green Economy and Environment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you for the follow-up question from Member of Parliament for Luvasenshi. Madam Speaker, sensitization is there. Are we doing much? Maybe not, but we can do more. And us doing more, Madam Speaker, begins with us, the legislators, because we understand. And I'll pick an example, Madam Speaker, from Eastern Province. With respect to carbon trading, Madam Speaker, Eastern Province is one province which obviously were the early bloomers with regards to signing the carbon trading agreements. And subsequently, my ministry, the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, has actually gone back to sit with the partners themselves. Definitely we are the brokers as the ministry. The two parties is the partner. In this case, we're talking about biocarbon, we're talking about Komako and a few. And on the other side, we have the traditional leadership. So we have mechanisms of communicating with what is happening out there. But obviously, more can be done to ensure that even the benefits themselves do trickle down to this person in that particular community. And Madam Speaker, I'll probably use this opportunity to just indicate that there is a lot of money that goes into these chiefdoms, vis-a-vis CDF, carbon trading agreements, animal fees, concession fees from wildlife. But it requires us, leaders, within our respective constituencies, within our respective jurisdiction, to actually go to the ground and tell the people how much money is going there, and also for them to decide on which projects, where money needs to be deployed, so that there's visibility, as opposed to what we're seeing where now everybody is looking up to government, to treasury, to say there's no development in this respective constituency or jurisdiction. Madam Speaker, I call upon my honorable members of parliament to go out there as we go out for Christmas. Go and enjoy Christmas with your communities and tell them the good things that our government is doing in our various sectors. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Point of Honorable Member for Nyimba, what's the point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think the minister is trying to be very economical with the truth. He knows that, Madam Speaker, the member of parliament is asking, members of parliament is asking to go out there during Christmas, to have a Christmas sitting with those people there to talk about that money. It's not possible because the law, Madam Speaker, does not allow a member of parliament to be there. In the first place, when they brought the bill here, Madam Speaker, I had to contribute that let's allow, because it's a lot of money which is going to waste, Madam Speaker. I can tell you Nyimba received close to 30 million kwacha from the same money. This year, Madam Speaker, the minister knows that since government has taken over the agreement between the BCP and the community, it's now BCP should pay government and government intends pay the community. Madam Speaker, usually the community used to get money between June and July. Up to date, Madam Speaker, the communities haven't received money because we introduced in this parliament, Madam Speaker, that the money should go to Eastern jurisdiction. Then in turn, those people give the community money. Is the minister in order, Madam Speaker, not to tell the truth that a member of parliament is not eligible to sit on that committee? Madam Speaker, order number 71. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nyimba. I believe the law was enacted by this House. The best that we can do, since you have provided the information, is to move a motion to amend the law. It will be the best way than to say the minister is not telling the truth, that a member of parliament has got no powers to intervene. Let's move a motion. Let's amend the law. It was enacted by this House, isn't it? So why can't we amend? Propose, because now you have seen the law is not working. That's what we call post-legislation scrutiny. Honorable Member for Nalolo will be able to assist you in that area. The Honorable Member for Feira.
Thank you once again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my earlier question was on government monitoring, and the Minister responded that there's Act of Parliament is there, which was done in 2024. Now, his response was that there is a law. Now, it's not enough to have a law. So, my follow-up question would be, has the law been operationalized by the executive? If not, when do you wish to operationalize the law? Because having the law is not enough. It must be operationalized. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Acting Minister of Green Economy and Environment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I just want to thank my learned area member of parliament for Feira for having brought up that issue. And I agree with him. You promulgate a law, it becomes an act. What moves it is the subsequent statutory instruments. And those, Madam Speaker, indeed are on their way. This is just 2023, 2024, when it was acted. But that should not stop us from actually monitoring systems that are already running. You will be invited, and I just want to take this opportunity, Madam Speaker, that again, following up on my invitation for him to come to my office for coffee, I just want him to come for another coffee date in my office so that we now start planning on how we can churn out these various SIs which will speak to driving the agenda in the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you very much. Maybe the honorable member for Feira should carry his own sugar. Just in case. Oh, honey, since you are talking about carbon trading. So let's move. We go to the next question, the honorable member for Kanchivia.
Madam Speaker, question 112.
The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to thank you and thank the Honourable Member who keeps me alert to the labour issues of the nation and to ensure that we are communicating to the nation and indeed the labour market. The Honourable Member, Mr. Sunday Chanda of Kanchiwia, has asked the following questions, Madam Speaker, that he wants to know what measures were being taken to safeguard whistleblowers of unethical behaviors in the workplaces. And the Honourable Member has also asked the question in B, whether the government conducts random compliance inspections to ensure safe working environment, especially in sectors such as mining and transport. Madam Speaker, in C, the Honourable Member wants to has asked, if so, how many cases of random inspections were carried out from 2020 to 2024 year by year. Madam Speaker, in A, to safeguard a whistleblower or whistleblowers and monitor compliance, the Ministry conducts regular workplace inspections and has implemented the following measures. 1, establishment of the call center number 7010 toll-free line on all mobile networks. The Ministry put in place a core toll-free center accessible to all employees, employers, and the members of the public. This makes it easy for the whistleblowers to have an interface with the Ministry and share information of interest at their convenient time without any interference. Madam Speaker, in 2, awareness creation to both employers and employees on the need not to victimize each other based on unrestricted information disclosure. During inspections and other interactions with the employers and employees, and education is provided to the fact that individuals who report labor matters affecting their employment rights should not be victimized in any way. On that basis, employers are advised strongly to take such as positive feedback that would enhance and promote growth of an undertaking. So when the grievance procedure is not working. In 3, Madam Speaker, bringing to the attention of the employers and employees the contents of the Public Interest Disclosure, Protection of Whistleblower Act number 2010, which falls under the Anti-Corruption Commission, provision of education to employers on the need not to subject employees to any occupation or detriment on account of partially on account of the employee having made a disclosure as provided for under Section 10 of the Public Interest Disclosure Act of 2010. That said, section states that an employer shall not subject an employee to any occupation or detriment on account or partly on account of the employee having made a protected disclosure or public interest disclosure. Further, the Ministry adheres to requirements of the above stated Act, Madam Speaker, that protects whistleblowers from being disclosed. Therefore, they are free to disclose their happenings at their working place, at the places of work, without the risk of being exposed by anybody, including my ministry. A, capacity building labor officers through labor officers conferences. Labor officers are educated on the need to uphold professionalism and confidentiality on the labor-related information provided to them by the whistleblowers, and use the said information to address the challenges that may be faced at the places of work by providing solutions. And B, establishment of government service bus at the ministry. The ministry has established an electronic service portal to enhance interaction with members of the public. On this platform, Madam Speaker, the public may officially lodge a complaint or engage the ministry on any other grievance online. Madam Speaker, B, whether government conducts random compliance inspections to ensure a safe working environment, especially in sectors such as mining and transport. The government, through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's Department of Occupational Safety and Health Services, conducts workplace safety and health compliance inspections in all industries except for the mining sector, which is policed by the Mines Safety Department. These inspections aim to enhance the provisions of the Factories Act Cap 441 of the laws of Zambia. Madam Speaker, under C, if so, how many cases of random inspections were carried out from 2020 to 2024 year by year? The department, Madam Speaker, carries out two types of inspections. One, the routine workplace safety inspection and health compliance inspections, and as well statutory inspections of plant and equipment. Health and equipment. Between 2020 and 2024, a total of 1,357 routine inspections were conducted. The annual breakdown is as follows. 230 inspections in 2020, 186 inspections in 2021, 351 inspections in 2022, 311 inspections in 2023, and 279 inspections in 2024, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, notably, approximately 90% of the inspections conducted by the department were random, with no advance notice given to the workplaces or the factories. Only about 10% of the inspections required advance notice, often due to the presence of critical facilities that necessitated the presence of expert personnel for safe inspection. Based on this statistic, Madam Speaker, 1,221 safety and health workplace inspections were conducted from 2020 to 2024, and these were random in nature. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Kanchibia.
Madam Speaker, thank you, and allow me to thank the Honourable Minister for her responses, and true to her preamble, the intention is to make sure that my sister shines. Madam Speaker, we are dealing with an act which came into being in the year 2010. It's a 15-year-old piece of legislation. And what is clear is that this particular legislation, Honourable Minister, predominantly focuses on disclosures from the public sector. And 15 years ago, probably there was justification for this sort of focus. Would the ministry and the government be averse to having a relook at this piece of legislation, which ought to protect our workers in the workplace, including those in the private sector. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for that question. As Madam Speaker earlier indicated, that laws are our laws and we make them in this House. And with time, relevance needs to be assured by ensuring that we look at them. So this government is not averse. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kafinsa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minister of Labour, the topic that is before us this afternoon is discussing whistleblowers. So a whistleblower, Madam Speaker, this is a person who identifies an anomaly within an institution. It may be labor-related, it may be due to safety, and wishes to bring it to the attention of the authority. That is a whistleblower. And the questions, I think, when I put them together, they are trying to find a way in which we can protect the worker, so that when the worker brings out a serious concern, not those who raise false alarms, but those who bring out real issues, they are protected. From your responses, Minister, you've talked about the law. You've talked about phone calls that can be made. You've talked about cases where you can go to the bus, the government bus, and then you raise the matter online. In your assessment, Madam Speaker, the cases that have been brought to your attention as a ministry, have they been responded to based on the whistleblowing that has been made available? Have the workers raised issues that you've been able to deal with so that the workers have got the comfort that let's continue raising more issues? Because the challenge, Madam Speaker, is that when you raise an issue as a whistleblower and the internal system doesn't resolve the problem, suddenly you feel like there's no need to continue. So, Madam Speaker, I hope the Minister has gotten my follow-up question. I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security.
Madam Speaker, yes, we take seriously every one of those phone calls or even in-person reports by our workers, our most valued workers. I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Kanchivia.
Madam Speaker, with your indulgence, allow me to throw a question coming from those people who are watching us, and they've asked me to ask this question to the Honorable Minister and related to this topic. Can the Minister indicate what specific actions have been taken against employers or managers found violating labor laws or engaging in unethical practices during these inspections, and how many prosecutions, penalties, or remedial measures were enforced in each year from 2020 to 2024? Madam Speaker, thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Services, Security.
Madam Speaker, I may not be able to give the statistics, but this can be provided later on. But every one of those cases that comes from our workers is attended to. We've got a whole system from the district level to the province, all the way to Labour Commissioner, and even a provision available for where our grievant or our reporter is not satisfied before they go into any other processes, including the industrial labor relations, the court. The minister is available to attend to them through a written appeal. So our workers are encouraged to feel free that they will be protected. Members of the public who notice things do come as well to the ministry. They too, when they see something that is not supported by law, any conduct must come to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Namwala. There are so many indications. Honorable Member, we have more. We have so much work. One private member's motion, 3 second readings. So we need to make progress. But the Honorable Member for Namwala.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker. Through you to the Minister. Minister, may I know whether you have enough inspectors to actually do you have enough inspectors to comprehend the issues raised by the whistleblowers? If yes, then have you gone as far as even attending to farm workers? If not, what number exactly do you need to have so that you can be able to attend to whistleblowers' concerns? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for asking that question, but allow me to revisit what Honourable Member for Kanchibia had asked for, some other piece of information about what we have done about these issues, or whether we have attended to even aspects that require sanctioning. We have sanctioned administratively where they pay a fee as prescribed by the law, and we have also moved where necessary to temporarily stop the train to ensure that the employer deals or resolves the matters according to the prescription of the law. I just wanted to bring that to his attention. And the question that has been asked, do we have, by the Honourable Member just behind me, do we have an adequate number of workers? We may not, but this government, the New Dawn administration, immediately we came into office, Madam Speaker, one of the areas we attended to was just that. The budget for 2022 allowed us to bring in a few more staff to the amount of 25. That meant a lot because for a long, long time, the ministry had not received such a gesture to the budget. So that meant that we had already evaluated, reviewed, assessed, and realized that we needed more human resources in the inspectorate. And for the question as to whether we've gone to the agricultural sector, to the farm areas, yes, Madam Speaker, this minister has been part of such inspections. I thank you.
The Honorable Member for Mwandi.
Thank you so very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you so very much for the responses provided. Madam Speaker, in this House, we've heard, for example, from the Minister of Education, the pupil to teacher ratio, and exactly what also is desired. I wanted to find out when it comes to the labor inspectors, because I think that this is very, very important, and people will be able to appreciate how far our labor inspectors and what they're able to do. When it comes to the ratio of labor inspectors to the companies that they need to inspect, is there a desirable ratio, and what ratio are we currently sitting on so that we can appreciate what our labor inspectors have been able to do? I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Member for Mwandi. The desirable one, we are still undertaking an assessment, and the current ratio is in thousands, Madam Speaker, and that is a red area that this government is attending to. I thank you. In fact, before I thank you, Madam Speaker, we are working with the Ministry of Finance, with Cabinet Office and Finance, for restructuring the ministry to also ensure that we attend to the issue of sitting the resource in the right places, the relevance of the human resource that we have right now, and approvals have been given, again demonstrating that this government does value the industry, the public service, the human resource or human capital as a fundamental to the investment to drive to the results that we are looking for to prosper this nation. So we are actively attending to this issue, because when you say 1,000 grievances to one, it means that we have to run fast, and fast we are running, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. The last question from the Honorable Member for Iteji.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker and Minister. Thank you for the responses. And I must mention from the onset, Honorable Minister, that this is a very emotive issue. And myself, as chair for the Caucus on Environment and Climate Change, I have to indicate that last week we went to the manganese mining in Serenge. And I must mention that what we saw there is a discussion for another day. It's something that needs serious attention. Now, Minister, I also want to inform you that in the districts where there are no labor officers, like it is, your members of parliament have become labor officers. We are the substantive labor officers in some of these constituencies. The DAOs who are acting labor officers and the district commissioners. I want to find out whether you are providing them with any support, any funding on a monthly basis, so that they can equally be supporting your ministry before you send full-time labor officers, because they are the ones who are acting as labor officers in districts where you don't have labor officers. Are they supported to conduct random inspections or even to conduct sensitizations? That is what I really want to know, Honorable Minister. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Labour and Social Security.
Madam Speaker, I would thank you once again, and I'd like to thank the Honourable Member for it. Yes, you mentioned Serenge, and the ministry is very aware of this matter because we've gone through the various legislation and attended to this matter together with other key stakeholders like mining, mine safety department of the Ministry of Mines. And on the question of what is happening in the district, Madam Speaker, we are one government and the Treasury is one. And so, with so saying, we are working as we work and are expected to work together, that where there's no labor officer, some of the issues that can be attended to by other departments like the council secretaries, and indeed the DC's office, will be brought to our attention. And I think most of it is for their counseling, but refer them to the provincial offices, because every province has an assistant labor commissioner or a principal labor officer. These matters, I encourage our teams in the DC's offices and councils to call out the provincial assistant labor commissioners to support their efforts where we do not have personnel. But having said that, we are also trying to, as I mentioned, that we are restructuring. You'll find that in some of the locations or districts where there's not much industry, but more of public service, we have a little bit more. Where we find there's more labor officers, we are restructuring to ensure that we take some of those officers to places where they are needed. The growth areas are priority, and then the rest can be attended to from the provincial office. So there's no budget to be shared, Honourable Member, because the budget is shared when we appropriate here at Parliament. So the rest of it is we continue working in that manner, and we encourage our provincial offices every time to ensure that they are liaising with the offices of the district commissioner. But I also want to say this, Madam Speaker, to inform the nation that like we have started injecting in more personnel, we are also working to put in some more offices in locations which carry industry, to bring officers in, and about 5 right now on the way into some of the locations in Central Province, Northwestern Province, Southern Province, Lower Pula Province. There is one or two in each one of those provinces that is coming. So we are constructing, we are rehabilitating. So let's continue. I encourage that we continue working as one government to attend to these matters, but referring back to the province, because inspections can only be undertaken by authorized officers. Authorized officers are given that responsibility at law, so those are the only ones who can undertake inspections. So that's why there's need to liaise with the Office of the Assistant Labor Commissioner. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Private member's motion, the Honorable Member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, allow me to move a motion that this House urges government, Madam Speaker, to implement measures to increase the crop yield per hectare for farmers under the Fertilizer Input Support Program.
Is the motion seconded?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Seconded by the honorable member for Chiluvi. The question is that this House urges the government to implement measures aimed at increasing the crop yield per hectare for farmers under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP. Any debate? The honorable member for Kamfinsa.
Madam Speaker, I'm very grateful once again for this privilege to bring another very important topic, a topic, Madam Speaker, that not only concerns our farmers, but also concerns our country, Madam Speaker, because at the end of the day, what we want is to be able to produce enough maize. Madam Speaker, if we're able to produce enough maize, even this conversation around how much maize should we give to FRA, how much maize should we export, Madam Speaker, that conversation will be attended to through this particular motion. Currently, Madam Speaker, the statistics indicate that we are only able to produce 3.6 million to 3.7 million tons of maize. Now, Madam Speaker, if we are producing 3.6 to 3.7 million tons of maize, it simply means that if we produced more, I think that it presents an opportunity, therefore, for us to begin discussing how much should be for Food Reserve Agency, how much should be for food security, and how much maize, Madam Speaker, we should be able to produce to be able to export into our export market. I'm sure, Madam Speaker, in the period that you've been here, you've followed the conversation around export of maize. There's always this sensitivity around export of maize. Every time the issue of exporting maize comes up, Madam Speaker, the concern from stakeholders is that why should we export maize when we don't have enough for local consumption? And today, Madam Speaker, the motion is stating that government should implement measures. We are saying if there are measures seated somewhere, if there's an action plan seated somewhere, if the experts in the Ministry of Agriculture are saying these are the 5 measures we have to implement to be able to produce more maize than we are producing over a hectare of land. Madam Speaker, the MP for Kamfinsa is saying, can we implement these measures, Madam Speaker? Can we quickly do what is necessary for us to produce more than 3.6 million tons of maize? And Madam Speaker, we are discussing this conversation simply because data is there, simply because the statistics are there. The Minister of Agriculture is on record stating that there is no way farmers can be giving us only 2 tons of maize over a hectare of land. Madam Speaker, a hectare is 100 by 100 if you have a standard shape of a piece of land. Why should you get 2 tons of maize on a hectare of land, Madam Speaker? We must begin implementing measures. And these measures, Madam Speaker, should give us the output. It's not a matter of saying, no, we are aware of the problem, we are aware of the measures that we need to implement, Madam Speaker. It is more about implementing them. It is more about identifying the problem and asking yourself, as individuals who are today privileged to be in government, what are these measures that have to be implemented, Madam Speaker? Are we providing the inputs to farmers under FISIP at the correct time in the farming season? Are we ensuring that we are giving them the right quantity of farm inputs, Madam Speaker? Are we also providing technical personnel to go into a farm block such as Kamfinsa, where we have about 5 farm blocks, Madam Speaker. The local people have grouped themselves. There's Misaka A, there's Misaka B, there's a place called Katoka Mema, where farmers, all they know is that this is their livelihood. But those farmers need to be supported. Someone has to be stationed in that farm block, Madam Speaker, to be able to tell our people how to prepare the soil, how to prepare the area where they're going to do their planting, so that when time comes to do the harvesting, because this topic, Madam Speaker, is about what we are going to harvest. What are we harvesting at the moment? On a hectare piece of land, we are only able to get less than 2 tons of maize. Today, Madam Speaker, my proposal to the executive arm of government is that can we implement the measures? 61 years after independence, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture has the experts. If you asked anyone from the Ministry of Agriculture, do you have people that are experts in this field? Have you consulted the experts in the private sector? How come other farmers are able to produce more maize than our farmers under FISIP? Clearly, there is some support that they need. Clearly, there are things we need to provide them. Clearly, Madam Speaker, when there's a drought, there must be a way in which we provide them with access to water to be able to produce more maize. And this is what this motion is all about. Madam Speaker, I don't need to be an expert in agriculture to be able to argue around what we need to do. I think the experts at the ministry will then be able to inform the executive arm of government that solution number 1 is this one. Solution number 2, according to science, is this one. Solution number 3, according to us, the experts, this is the solution. Madam Speaker, that is what this motion is all about. And my submission today is that let's look at what other countries are doing. How come other countries, Madam Speaker, the yield for our small-scale farmers is actually more than 2 tons of maize? What aren't we doing correctly? What can we do, Madam Speaker, to correct this problem? I think I have defined the problem. The problem is that our farmers are not producing enough. And let me put it on record, Madam Speaker. The 3.6 million tons of maize, which we are discussing as our national output for maize, 80% of that 3.6 million is coming from small-scale farmers. The same FISIP farmers we are discussing today, Madam Speaker, they give us 80% of our maize. What is 80% of 3.6 million? We are looking at 3 million tons of maize. So imagine, Madam Speaker, if farmers are producing just 2 tons on a hectare and they are giving us 3 million. Imagine, Madam Speaker, if they doubled their output. Over the same piece of land, we'll be talking about 6 to 7 million tons of maize. And that is the conversation today, Madam Speaker. I am confident that every member of Parliament agrees with me that we need to put these measures in place. We need to help our farmers. They produce more, Madam Speaker. We have enough for food security. We have enough for food security, Madam Speaker. We have enough to export. Is export of maize a good thing? If we have enough maize for local consumption, Madam Speaker, it is a good thing. And that is why today, Madam Speaker, I am confident that everyone will buy into the idea that if our officers are not doing their part, let's push them to do their part. Let's go into every farm block, Madam Speaker, where we have small-scale farmers. We are supporting them under FISIP. Let's now provide the extra things that they require, the technical abilities, the training that they require, Madam Speaker, for us to produce a better yield. The current crop yield, Madam Speaker, is not enough. Let us teach our farmers to do better. Let's provide them with the technical support. Let's ensure that everything that they require, Madam Speaker, is provided to them. The people of Kamfinsa, Madam Speaker, once again wants to thank your office for allowing their Member of Parliament to bring this conversation which affects everyone. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Does the seconder wish to speak now or later?
Now, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Chilubi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the people of Chilubi the opportunity to speak about this very important motion. Madam Speaker, I'll be doing myself a disservice if I do not appreciate every moved motion by the mover of the motion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the motion for today is a motion for everyone. And I think there is no one who would be against production. What the motion is speaking to is increasing the production of crops under the FISIP. Why are we talking about the FISIP? We are talking about the FISIP because government supports the FISIP. And we realize that as far as government is supporting the FISIP, what we are getting out of the FISIP is not what we are supposed to get. I think that one, the statistics of government do agree to that effect and the like. Madam Speaker, that's a demonstration. You find that from 2019 to today, from 2019, say we had 1.6 hectares done. But what was realized out of those hectares, the yield was very low. And we need to address such matters, Madam Speaker. But before we address those matters, Madam Speaker, we need to realize what are the push factors that influence the yield. And among the push factors, Madam Speaker, is the climate and the soils. And the climate is mainly influenced by the Intertropical Convergence Zone, of course backed by the El Nino Southern Oscillating issue. So when we look at that, Madam Speaker, we are trying to address if the rainfall influences, if we have 19 types of soils in Zambia, how do we apply the extension officers so that they can come in and make sure that where we have soil type 1, if it's the Ruvito or the other soil or the association of the two, how do our scientists, like the extension officers, come in? That's what we are trying to talk about, Madam Speaker. And I think that's not asking too much of systems, because there are already systems in place. Madam Speaker, what we are calling for is a situation where, if, for instance, the soil in Chirubi is found to be acidic, there is need that as the government is distributing fertilizer, if the lime can neutralize the soil, fertilizer is distributed together with the lime, so that the farmer can receive fertilizer as well as the lime. We know, Madam Speaker, that Zambia is divided into three agroecological zones. And these agroecological zones also offer different rainfall patterns. I know that on the lowest, on average, the lower southern, the valley part, we have between around 600 milliliters. On the upper north, we have the maximum on average is 1,300 milliliters. Our agriculture departments have such information. And the interface, Madam Speaker, that we are calling for is where we apply the knowledge in making sure that the yield is concentrated. Madam Speaker, what we are calling for today is where we have these extension officers that have been employed under the Ministry of Agriculture, being given certain targets. It's not just that they have to monitor the distribution of fertilizer. That is not enough. They also have to monitor the proper yield. They have to test the soils. They have to help the farmer on the technology of seeds, of which seed can germinate properly in a particular area. This all-size-fits-all is not going to help us, Zambia, especially that even the policy of agriculture does recognize that all-size-fits-all cannot help us. Now, looking at the things that we are like to harvest if we increase the production. Madam Speaker, this is for the good of everybody. It is nutrition. The nutritional value at household level will rise. And you will find that the babies, the mothers that are breastfeeding, the fathers that are here in Parliament will feed well. Because we are talking about rice. We are talking about soybeans. We are talking about maize that have got other products from the same. Madam Speaker, another factor is an economical score. We know that even in the 8th National Development Plan, it is there that agriculture is one of the windows that we are supposed to use to diversify our economy. And why agriculture? Why is it that we are talking about agriculture? And within the aspect of agriculture, we also talk about crop diversification. And Madam Speaker, what that entails is that as we increase the production at raw material level, we are likely also to have better jobs from the agriculture sector through the convention of value addition. And I think this is not controversial. I know that at some point, of course, people would say these are policies that are already there, but we are trying to supplement what? No. Saying that these are policies that are trying to, that have been implemented, because that has been almost a standard answer. When we are in a democracy like we are, it's core management, and all the voices matter. And this voice equally matters in adding to that agriculture policy, in adding to the legal framework and many other, such that when we record success at the end of the day.
The Honorable Member for Chiluvi, there is an indication for a point of order. The Honorable Member for Momba, yes, Momba. What
Madam
is
Speaker,
the
thank you very much
point of order?
for allowing me to raise this point of order against the second of the motion. Madam Speaker, Standing Order 71, that's where my basis of the point of order is. Is the second, Madam Speaker, in order to continue debating this motion, because he has, according to him, he has admitted and he has indicated that all these measures are already there by the government. So, Madam Speaker, on what basis is he debating when he knows that, in fact, he's moving a motion or seconding a motion that which, Madam Speaker, already has indicated that the government has these measures in place? Is he in order to continue debating, Madam Speaker? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
I believe the second of the motion is justifying his case. So all we can do on the other side is to state our position also, so that we find a balance, because it's a motion that has already been admitted. So if he's setting that, then maybe he's arguing against the motion. So we allow him to debate as he wills. The Honorable Member for Chiluvi may continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was not arguing against the motion. I was qualified because it has become a trend. Whenever there is a motion that has come, and I think we all know that in as far as those policies are there, Madam Speaker, we are having low yield, and government is spending so much under FISIP, and we are not getting what we are supposed to get. The main motion, for the main object for this motion is to knock on the increment of the production of crops under the FISIP. And there is nothing wrong in doing so, Madam Speaker. And I think I'm not admitting, I have not admitted anywhere that so far the policies have recorded the success that we want to harvest from this motion. We are talking about keywords like yield, FISIP, and the farmers supported in that motion, just like you have rightly put it. So, Madam Speaker, what we want to underscore is that we are knocking on the door of the executive, since the executive directs policy, that let us continue channeling FISIP, but with the caution of making sure that we apply measures that are going to give our young people employment, that are going to boost our food security, that will boost nutrition and many other factors by increasing production. And the key word is increment per hectare. That is what we are talking about. Production from where we are. You know that even yesterday, the way the escalation brought problems. From where we are now, the baseline is where we are to where we are supposed to go, Madam Speaker. And the people of Chiluvi are saying from this to less than 2.1 in some of the cases and less 2.16 in certain cases, 3 million metric tons or something like that. That is what we want to underscore.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Chiluvi. But just a way of guidance, also you should make proposals on how this can be achieved. Because I have not heard that when you were debating. I'm just hoping that, you know, that's the only way to strengthen your motion. So we go to the next, the Honorable Member, I don't know who is opposing. Any? Okay, the honorable member for Mwembeji.
Madam Speaker, thank you so very much. And I want to thank the mover of the motion because he has actually shown that he is not a farmer.
Sorry, honorable member for Mwembeji, there is an indication for a point of order. Honorable member for Mazabuka, what's the point of order?
Thank you for the opportunity and to thank the mover and seconder of this, what is supposed to be a very important motion. Madam Speaker, I rise on a very serious procedural point of order arising from the immediate past comments from yourselves, which I agree with, that this motion, good as it may be, appears to be very defective in the sense that it is too general to oppose or even support, because the throughput of the result of this discussion must look at the measures, which measures the mover has not stated, not even in one breath, Madam Speaker. Following your immediate past comments, would we be in order to continue discussing this matter, which does not contain what he calls measures, or should we cordially ask the MP to go and refine this particular motion and come up with a definitive set of measures to support or oppose this motion? If I still have an extra second, Madam Speaker,
Boy, can you change
I put it to the House that when this government came into office, there are measures that were put in FISIP, which included re-looking at the entire database. That saw a lot of people that did not qualify to be on FISIP. That exposed some fraud in FISIP. Those were measures. This government introduced SAF. Those are measures. This is what I expected my brother and friend to define in coming up with such a motion. I find difficulties, Madam Speaker, to either oppose or support this motion. I seek a ruling from you, Madam.
Order, honorable members. Let's make progress. Let's listen to each other. Order. Order, honorable members. There is a point of order that has been raised by the honorable member for Mazabuka. But my ruling is the motion is here, is on the floor, is being debated. There are members who are going to debate against the motion and those who are going to debate in support of the motion. What they say in for or against the motion will determine the final decision of the House on the motion when a decision. Order, honorable member for Kasanengwa. Honorable member for Chiluvi. Apologies, honorable member for Kasanengwa, if you didn't. But I saw your mouth open, so. You are my new cousin, don't worry. Although you are from Eastern Province. So, honorable member for Chiluvi, you are seconding the motion. Let's listen to the suggestions. And as you debate, please let's have facts for and against the motion. After that, then a decision will be made whether the motion is carried or the motion is defeated. Right now, we have not even gone halfway. I'm sure there are still other members who are going to debate for the motion. Maybe they have some ideas on how these measures can be implemented. So let's give them an opportunity, honorable member for Mazabuka. So let's allow them to debate. So may the honorable member for Mwembeji continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I thank you for the time. Madam Speaker, I was listening to the mover and the seconder of the motion proposing or trying to urge the government to take some measures. Of course, Madam Speaker, they have taken so many minutes, over 7 minutes, talking nothing in terms of measures. I want to put it on record, Madam Speaker, that I did not hear.
Order,
Yes,
order.
it's me who was
Order.
hearing. It's me who was here.
Order. Order, Honorable Member for Kafisa. Order. Honorable Member for Mwembeshi, the use of the term that you used. Please, can you withdraw that? They were saying nothing. The context is...
Madam Speaker, let me withdraw. What I am saying, Madam Speaker, now in a proper English, I did not hear the content measures which they are asking for. There was no content. So the instance of the motion, what they presented, and you are the mover. So,
okay, let's
I was hoping.
Okay, order. Order, Honorable Member for Kafisa, this is your motion. We want to go through it and debate. Now, if you are going to disrupt the proceedings through points of order, there will be no flow of the debate. I will allow the last point of order. After that, there will be no points of order. Honorable Member for Kafisa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Standing order number 71. Madam Speaker, in my debate, I highlighted the problem. I also highlighted specific measures. I stated that there are things that are affecting the output of our farmers. Extension services.
Order, Honorable Member for Kafisa. You'll be able to wind up.
I want to raise the point, Madam Speaker.
No, you can't raise a point of order
And
in
I'm
order
raising
to...
it.
Order. You cannot raise a point of order. You can take your seat.
You allowed, Honorable.
Order, Honorable Member for Kafisa. I'm giving guidance here. I'm giving guidance. It's your motion. You have to... Because now you are attacking me. And you know that you are treading on very dangerous waters. So let's control our emotions. Let's control our emotions. And you are repeating, Honorable Member for Kafisa. I was advising and guiding that you are the mover of the motion. You can't raise a point of order in order to rebut the arguments of the other people who are opposing the motion. When the time comes for you to wind up, you will be able to rebut. Even the Honorable Member for Mazabuka, he raised a point of order. That was not admitted. So where is the unfairness there? You like pointing fingers. The Honorable Member for Mwembeshi may continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what I'm saying is that maybe I want to put this thing in very simple language. If the mover, the motion would have said that the farmers, when they get the FISIP, that is the idea of helping the farmers, they should not sell the fertilizers. Enhance that. Maybe we're going to debate. If he said that the extension workers, in terms of those who give extension in our districts, they are not there. They are low. Let's employ them. That was going to be better. Say that can the people to test the soils in his constituency in Kitwe, where there are farms there in Kitwe. We are going to adopt that and follow him. But he went all over. He's a miner. He's not a farmer like me. So, in Mwembeshi...
Order, Honorable Member for... Order. I've already guided Honorable Member for Kafisa. I don't know what you want now. I have guided Honorable Member for Mwembeji. Please don't compare yourself to minors. You are a farmer.
Yes, I'm a farmer.
So stick to the motion.
Madam Speaker, that's why I'm talking as a farmer. In Mwembeshi, there is an agriculture office there which has got extension workers in terms of soil sampling, in terms of how they apply the fertilizers, what they do. They have got a tomato field, come and see in my yard. They come there to check what we are doing and what is the production per hectare. So, in his debate, in trying to urge the government to increase the production, he didn't put any measures which are not put. So therefore, I find it very difficult, Madam Speaker, to say that I can argue because he didn't say anything. Since he didn't say anything, Madam Speaker, I want to tell you that his motion needs to go to be refined by himself so that when he's here, we support it because we want production. The issues with FISIP is that, I want to give an example, Madam Speaker. We give our farmers fertilizer. Instead of them applying that fertilizer in the field, they start selling the bags of fertilizer to the people in the community. So those measures, if you mention such things, then we would say, can we encourage farmers that we put policing so that people do not sell that fertilizer which is being given by the government? Now, look at what he said. It is nothing. When we say they want to increase production so that... So, yes.
Honorable members.
Madam Speaker,
order.
I want to say that when someone is talking to me...
Honorable member, both honorable member for Kafisa, honorable member for Mwembeshi. I did guide. Honorable member for Mwembeshi, this idea of saying he said nothing, the honorable member for Kafisa is not amused with your saying. Please use other words. Instead of saying he said nothing, maybe you don't agree with what he said. So maybe it's the language. May the honorable member for Mwembeshi continue.
I'm sorry, Madam Speaker. I'm saying that I didn't get anything in what he said. Yes, I didn't get what he said. So my advice is that if we are going to improve agriculture and advise the government, we want to take specific steps. Say the fertilizer which we are giving, the 4 bags, is not enough. Can we increase the 4 bags maybe to 8 bags or to 10 bags? The seed which we are giving, we have to see which seed are we going to give in Western Province, which seed we are going to give in Southern Province, and also increase. And we also say that these people, when they are doing the farming, they are only giving these inputs by redeeming them. We can also be giving them some cash so that they can also employ some people to work in the fields. But none of that, Madam Speaker, was actually told in terms of trying to improve productivity. That's what I didn't hear, Madam Speaker. The man spent 7 minutes saying nothing. Anyway.
Order, honorable members. Honorable member for Mwembeshi, please withdraw. He's thinking in Tonga, and then he's speaking in Tonga, so you can forgive him. Let's make progress.
Madam Speaker,
but honorable member for Mwembeshi, please withdraw and apologize.
And I apologize to you, sir, that I didn't say anything.
Let's hear to the supporter of the motion. I believe the honorable member for Kasanengwa.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for giving the people of Kasanengwa an opportunity to debate this motion, which is very progressive, a motion which is non-political, a motion which will help to improve food security in this company. Madam Speaker, this can only be implemented if such important debates stay free of political opinions or political debate, such as the member who was just speaking. He has just politicized everything, Madam Speaker. It's supposed to be the case. Now, Madam Speaker, the mover of this motion is simply saying, in the midst of all this support that a farmer is getting, how can we improve output? How can we improve production? Because what is happening right now is that while we are celebrating a bumper harvest, most households there are starving. Why? It's because people who were well helped by this government and all governments that have been there before with farming inputs still remain hungry even after that harvest. That is what is happening. Shall we not politicize this thing? Because it's not talking about the current government. It's talking about government is a going concern. Government is a going concern. Okay. So now, Madam Speaker, what we are saying is that how can we help to improve production or to improve output? There are so many measures that we can look at. What I'm saying here is that one, the Speaker...
Order, honorable members. Let's allow the movers of the motion to debate. Honorable member for Kasanengwa, you are free. Please continue debate. The time
Madam
is
Speaker.
a standstill. It's not moving. Can we make
Please,
progress,
may I be
honorable
protected? I
members?
don't want to respond to them. May I speak through you, Madam Speaker? Allow this to keep quiet.
Honorable member for Kasanengwa, are you crying or laughing?
Madam Speaker, what we are simply saying is that our farmers are well supported, but their production is not that adequate. Their production is not something that you can write home about. These are people who are given enough inputs, but when in the midst of all this support, they do not have that support on the ground. I'm telling you now, I have never seen at any single our officers going around in these peasant farmers to check how their soils are doing. Because applying fertilizer to the same soil over 20 years is not. How much support are our farmers who are on FISIP getting from our agriculture extension officers? That's what we are debating here. We are going to be giving them fertilizer year in, year out, and yet the yields are so poor. What are we going to do to help our agriculture extension officers so that in turn they can also support a farmer on the ground? Those are the things, Madam Speaker, that maybe we should be debating here, things that we should be looking at. Very important. The other things, Madam Speaker, are that we have so many agriculture trainees that are graduating every year. Now, are they going to be getting the same curriculum, the same training year in, year out? You produce agriculture officers, and then they end up in Cairo Road selling talk time. The next thing you hear, they're talking about doing another course. They want to go for teaching, nursing. Why can't we produce agriculture officers or agriculture trainees who will be able to go right farms and produce food
for this country, other than agriculture officers who want to be farm managers, farm supervisors, or maybe go and work in a retail shop like our livestock in showgrounds. So maybe we need to change also our curriculum. It should be tailored towards making these people self-reliant, self-sustaining, and with hands-on training. Not an agriculture officer who end up in Cairo Road, an agriculture officer who end up maybe selling talk time, or maybe just sitting at home. Those are the things, Madam Speaker, that we should be talking about when we want to support his motion. When we want to support his motion, Madam Speaker, we also need to look at smart agriculture. How can we be helped so that within a lima, within an hectare, within a hectare, we produce, we know how much we are going to produce. Because, Madam Speaker, even now, if the Minister of Agriculture was here, if I asked him to say, out of the fertilizer that you gave out to farmers under FISI, how much yield have you gotten out of that? Maybe we don't even have that data. Okay, all we know is that each year, every year, we distribute fertilizer and it ends there. It reminds me of my uncle. After getting his pension, he opens up a shop. A shop. Every time, commodities are finished in the shop, he just gets money to restock without asking, how about the monies that you've been selling from the shop? Amalume vintu vasira, yeah, vienda bwino, golani. He is not taking stock. And that is what we are doing in this government. Year in, year out, we just give farmers fertilizer. How are you using your fertilizer? We are not even following up. Is this fertilizer giving us meaningful results? The Honorable Minister of Agriculture, he is totally blank. He doesn't know. Okay? And it doesn't just end at him. I'm sorry, Madam Speaker, to pinpoint the Minister of Agriculture. I know he's a very forgiving uncle.
Order, Honorable Member for Kasane. The word that you are, order. The word that you are using, that the Honorable Minister is blank. I think withdraw that, use another better word.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I think that word was too strong and I withdraw it. Thank you very much. Allow me, Madam Speaker, to continue. So what we are saying in this case, Madam Speaker, we may want to politicize what the mover presented here, but it is looking at a spectrum. But how can we improve the output? How can we improve production? And that goes directly to a farmer. How can we help a peasant farmer with the input that they receive, the fertilizer, the seed, and FISIP, and SAF, and all these other loans? That is what we are looking at, Madam Speaker. Finally, Madam Speaker, I'm going to look at, I want to beg that sometimes let us keep these programs out of politics, because every time we politicize these things, we are going to end up yielding no results at all. Already we are not looking at this issue with the attention that it deserves.
Order. As the time is 16:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
Good afternoon, and thank you for still being with us on Parliament Television. Business has been suspended for a 20-minute break, and at the time business was being suspended, on the floor of the House was Kasenengwa, Member of Parliament, Mr. Philemon Twasa, debating the private member's motion that has been moved by Mr. Christopher Kangombe, that this House urges the government to implement measures aimed at increasing the crop yield per hectare for farmers under the Farmer Input Support Program FISP. And this motion has been seconded by Chiluvi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mlenga Fuve. We now take a look at some of the business that has been considered from the time business commenced at about 14:30 hours.
Yes, there were two announcements that were rendered on the floor by the Honourable Madam Speaker. And in one of the announcements, the Honourable Madam Speaker recognized the presence in the public gallery of Pastonet from Chongwe District. Pastonet is a group of pastors who have come together with a vision for supporting children in Chongwe District. And on behalf of the National Assembly, the Honourable Madam Speaker welcomed the visitors to the institution.
And in the other announcement, Madam Speaker did recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Libala Secondary School. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, warmly welcomes the visitors to the National Assembly.
And we did have presentation of one government bill, and this was a bill presented by the Minister of Finance and National Planning, and this is the State-Owned Enterprise Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2025. The bill has been committed to the Committee on Parastatal Bodies, and the report of the committee will be considered by the House in due course.
Yes, indeed, Pauline, the House has also had one question for oral answer. That's a question for urgent nature, and the House has also considered 3 questions for oral answer, understanding Order 80. These are questions of ordinary nature. We will get to the details at a later stage. Just now, we take a break. Keep watching Parliament Television.
Post-legislative scrutiny, PLS, is crucial for the Zambian Parliament as it shifts our focus from merely passing laws to ensuring they are effectively implemented and achieve their intended positive impact on citizens' lives. It is for this reason that the National Assembly of Zambia, in collaboration with the Scottish Parliament and Westminster Foundation for Democracy, organized a meeting to further strengthen the capacity of selected parliamentarians and staff. During the official opening of the training, National Assembly of Zambia First Deputy Speaker, Honorable Malungo Chisanga, and highlighted the aim of the post-legislative scrutiny. This was in a speech read on her behalf by Deputy Clerk for Corporate Affairs